Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Ashland Middle School. It's Ashland Legion Baseball on HCAM Television in Hopkinton or WACA-TV in Ashland. Tom Nappy, Larry Sacklad on the call, Connor Donovan on camera as Ashland Post 77 set to take on North Chelmsford Post 313 as we are ready to get underway. Sean Babineau delivers the first pitch of the game for strike one, and we are underway. Ashland Legion is 10-5 on the regular season, and North Chelmsford right behind them with a record of 9-6. Wind up and the pitch. That one is just outside. A 2-1 count on the leadoff hitter, John Barry, the second baseman. And he is going to end up drawing the walk. So that'll put a runner on, no outs to start things off, and bring up Pete Miller, the third baseman. We'll take a look at the standings in just a moment. Waltham and Ashland at the top of the standings, 10-5 records overall. Newton 9-5, Sudbury 8-5. That one is just low. North Chelmsford 9-6, a game out of first place. Natick 9-6, Lowell 8-6, Medford 7-7, Hudson 2-11, Billerica 1-17. They have forfeited their season, so it is quite a group of teams towards the top, and several teams still alive in the playoff picture. Of course, 4 teams go to the postseason. Runner leading off first, the throw over, and they pick him off. There's out number 1, Sean Babineau, showing off that dangerous pickoff move. And there is 1 out in the inning. As the hitter set to step back in, Pete Miller. And that is a nice way to start things off for Post 77. You struggle a little bit giving up the walk, but now you get the pickoff. Is that one inside for a ball? Wind up and the pitch on the 2-2. Right back to the pitcher it goes. Babineau picks it up, throw to first, and not in time. The ball also gets away from the first baseman, Pessin. So that allows the hitter to reach. And that will bring up the third hitter in the lineup, Andrew Fisher, the first baseman. So there is 1 on, 1 out. Fisher to step in. Runner leading off of first. Babineau delivers. That one is low, 1-0. Runner leading off once again. Babineau, a dangerous pitcher to test as far as his pickoff move, as this one is a fair ball. Takes a hop on the infield grass, handled by Pessin, and it's a 3 unassisted ground out. Runner from first does advance to second, but there is 2 outs. And that will bring up Max Silverman, the catcher, and the cleanup hitter. North Chelmsford led by head coach Colin Clancy. They're writing a bit faded out on the lineup card, but it is Colin Clancy doing a nice job with this North Chelmsford program. And this Post 313 is a program that has really built up over the last few years. And they are one of the most competitive programs in Zone 5 this year. Babineau set to deliver. There's a strike on the catcher, Silverman. 2 outs in the top of the first. Runner on second. Babineau looks over at second and deals, fouled away. Coach Clancy giving some signals over to the runner at second. A big game here for North Chelmsford as they're one game out of first place. That one's fouled away. And this is the last week of the regular season, so big games really for all the teams that are still alive. Only 2 teams out of it, and several still alive as far as reaching the playoffs. Babineau set to deal, and this is fouled away. A good battle going on here between the cleanup hitter, Max Silverman, and Sean Babineau. Silverman steps back in. Wind up in the pitch. A called strike, and that is going to do it for the top half of the first. Silverman didn't like that call, but that's the way it'll end. A scoreless game as we head to the bottom of the first. It is Ashland Legion Baseball on HCAM Television in Hopkinton or WACA-TV in Ashland. Tom Nappy, Larry Sacklat on the call, Connor Donovan on camera. Bottom of the first inning, scoreless game. And the first pitch to an Ashland hitter is fouled away. Jake Obid at the plate, the left fielder. We'll get you the lineup in just a moment. Ashland 10-5 on this season. As that pitch outside. 1-1 on Obid. Is Jake Obid leading things off, playing left field as he takes another ball there. Ronan Bates at second base batting second. Jackson Horning, the shortstop, batting third. Ben Thomas, the right fielder, in the cleanup spot. Zach Pesson, the first baseman, batting fifth, as that one is low by the pitcher, James McNamara. Lewis Rossi playing third base, batting sixth. Tom Otzi batting seventh, the DH. Sean Jewett, the catcher, batting eighth, and batting ninth is Brad Seymour, the center fielder, as this one's hit up the middle, glove by the second baseman, throw to first, and Obid goes down 4-3, one away.
They swapped Horning and Obid on positions 1 and 3 in the order, so coach may have something in mind.
And of course on the mound today for post 77 is Sean Babineau, having a great Legion season. Wind up and a pitch from McNamara is outside and low to Bates, 1-0. Let's take a look at North Chelmsford. It's James McNamara, the pitcher. His battery mate is May Silverman behind the plate. Andrew Fisher over at first base. John Barry at second base. Ryan Hart, the shortstop. At third base, it's Pete Miller. From left to right, Mike Vecchione. The center fielder is Reed Talbot. And in right field, it is Chad Lazima, as that one is hit in the air over to right center, and that is going to drop in front of the right fielder as Bates will keep going over to second base to slide in, and he is safe. Well, what do you think of that one, Larry? You think that was a routine fly ball there, or are you going to give him the base hit?
Well, I don't see any sun out there, so I'm going to have to give him an error out there in right field.
Yeah, I happen to agree with you there. As Jackson Horning will step into the batter's box. Wind up and the pitch. There's strike one. Of course, this is the last week of the regular season in Zone 5 Legion Baseball. After this, it'll be playoff time. And we'll get some time for May Silverman, the catcher, to talk to his pitcher, James McNamara. We'll go over the season so far for post 77. A whole lot of W's in the scorebook for Ashland as of late. And we'll recap all the action that has occurred so far. Of course, they were plagued by rain a number of times as well, so they had to make some schedule adjustments. They'll have 3 games in this final week of the regular season. As this is hit up the middle, takes a hop into the second baseman's glove, throw to first, and they get the out. Bates advances to third. 4-3 for Horning. Ben Thomas to the plate with 2 outs, 1 on.
Both pitchers today were having a little trouble finding the strike zone early on. Both were able to settle down, though.
Wind up and the pitch. There's a ball to the lefty. Ashland post 77, 10-5 on the season, as there is a strike, 1-1. Season started back on June 12th on the road, a 10-0 win against Hudson, and then they lost at Natick 11-4. We had that game for you as our first broadcast, as that is hit into left field. That'll drop in for a base hit. It is an RBI single for Ben Thomas. Ronan Bates comes around to score. It is 1-0 post 77. That'll bring up Zach Pessin, the first baseman. Continuing on with the recap of the post 77 season, on June 14th, a 7-6 win at home against Medford. Checking at first, and they thought they had the pickoff, but he is called safe. McNamara started walking towards the bench thinking that he had the out, but Thomas ruled just safe. And then on June 20th, a 1-0 win against Lowell right here at Ashland Middle School. Then a 7-4 loss against Waltham here at Ashland Middle School. And then a few road games for post 77. They beat Lowell 17-6, as there's a called strike. And then they started to play against Hudson here at Ashland Middle School, but after one inning of play, rain struck and they had to call it a day, as this is up the first base side foul. So they moved the rest of that game to July 13th. And then June 28th, a 3-1 loss at North Chelmsford, the team they're playing right now, hoping to get some revenge for that loss, as McNamara is set to deal. And then following that, a 7-0 win against Billerica, as that one is just low. And they followed that up with a 4-3 loss at Sudbury, 6-4 win against Sudbury at home, and then 10-0 over Natick, 7-0 over Billerica on July 1st. Checking at first, runner back safe, a 14-2 loss at Newton on July 6th. And then they took a pair on July 8th, 13-1 over Waltham and 11-8 over Medford. As that pitch up high, runner thought about taking off, but will head back to the bag. And here we are today. They are 10-5, and of course Billerica forfeited the season, so that gave all teams that had them left on their schedule the W in that game. Good battle here between the fifth hitter in the lineup, Zach Pessin, and James McNamara. Post 77 already with one run in. Runner will lead off first once again.
Pessin asked for time there.
Wind up and the pitch. There's a strike that'll end the inning, but post 77 does play to run. It's 1-0 as we head to the top of the second. It's Ashland Legion Baseball on WACA-TV and HCAM television. Top of the second inning, as North Chelmsford coming back up to the plate. James McNamara, the pitcher, steps in. That one is just low.
We're going to have a little hard time with the home plate umpire. He's not too demonstrative with his ball and strike calls.
This one is in fair territory on the infield grass. A little flip to first, no problem. 1-3 goes McNamara. That'll bring up Chad Lazine, the right fielder. Chad Lazine, the sixth hitter in the lineup. Let's take a look at that North Chelmsford lineup. It's John Barry, the second baseman, who led things off. Pete Miller, the third baseman, batting second. Andrew Fisher, the first baseman, batting third. That one's fouled away. Ray Silverman, the catcher, is, or Max Silverman, excuse me, the catcher is in the cleanup spot in the lineup. James McNamara, the pitcher, batting fifth. Chad Lazine, the right fielder, batting sixth. As this is hit in the air, liner, and that'll drop into center. That's going to be a base hit for Lazine, a 1-out single. And the sixth hitter in the lineup, Chad Lazine, is aboard. Ryan Hart, the seventh hitter in the lineup, playing shortstop, coming up to the plate right now. Reed Talbot Dion, the center fielder, batting eighth, and Mike Vecchione, the left fielder, batting ninth for North Chelmsford.
Looks like North Chelmsford has brought their full complement of players, unlike some of the visiting teams that have had just just 9 to start a game.
Very true. North Chelmsford is led by team manager Billy O'Neill and coach Colin Clancy. There's a ball to Hart. We'll take you through the Ashland field in a moment, as there's a swinging strike.
I think that was Babineau's changeup.
Babineau takes a look over at first and will check in, and he has the... Oh, he thought he had the pickoff, so did I, but the runner called safe.
Didn't the umpire call him out? He did.
He did, all right.
Second pick for Babineau today, who's really elusive.
Well, he went back to the bag and was just standing there. I don't think he realized he was out, but that was the right call, certainly.
Had him by a country mile.
Oh, absolutely.
Sort of blame that one on the first base coach. You saw a kid get picked in the first inning.
Hart draws the walk, so with 2 outs, runner on first. And that will bring up Reed Talbot Dion, the center fielder. Wind up in the pitch, just upstairs. Set to deliver. Leg lift and the pitch, swinging strike there. Let's take a look at the Ashland Diamond. It's Sean Babineau, the pitcher. Sean Jouett, his battery mate, behind the plate. Zach Pessin over at first. Ronan Bates at second base. Jackson Horning, the shortstop. Lewis Rossi at third base. From left to right, it is Jake Obed, Brad Seymour, and Ben Thomas as this one's popped up, and that is going to drop foul.
Good hustle by Bates. He did not give up on that ball. Expect nothing less from number 9 out there.
Yeah, and that fly ball was, there was a big question mark there as to if it would be fair or foul. But the wind just taking a little bit to the right. Foul tip there.
Batter thought the catcher had got the foul tip. He was about ready to step towards the dugout. But got the good news from the umpire.
Checking at first. Good move by Babineau. Runner was ready for it that time. Kind of has that sidearm pickoff move, which I think throws a lot of hitters off, as there is strike 3 on Talbot Dion, and that'll be the third and final out of the top of the second. To the bottom of the second we go. Post 77 leading North Chelmsford 1-0. Bottom of the second inning. 6, 7, and 8 due up for post 77. Lewis Rossi, Tom Onsi, and Sean Jouett. Wind up and the pitch. There's a ball, 1-0 to Rossi. 1 run plated in the bottom of the first for Ashland. Swinging strike there.
Rossi, a gritty kind of player. Doesn't mind getting dirty.
1-1 count now on the third baseman. There's a strike, 1-2. And this is hit in the air, foul out of play.
Dylan O'Leary's going to shag that ball.
There's one upstairs.
We should get the home plate umpire a mic. He doesn't move his hand up for ball or...
First base side, a good dive by the first baseman. The flip to the pitcher, and they get him. Nice play by Andrew Fisher. 3-1 there. 1 away, and Tom Onsi to the plate. Snap and the pitch to Onsi. 0-1. There's a swinging strike. The 0-2. Just high. One-two pitch. And that is strike 3. 2 away. That'll bring up Sean Jewett, the catcher.
He's going to make his coach very proud of what he's done all summer. He's been terrific behind the plate. And Holliston has a real gem next year for varsity.
Absolutely. And as you've mentioned many times, Larry, it's always tough to find a good catcher. As this is hit in the air, a high fly ball over to right center, and it is going to be gloved by the center fielder who got there just in the nick of time as Reed Talbot Dion catches the third and final out of the bottom of the second. To the top of the third we go. It's Ashland Legion Baseball on WACA-TV and HCAM in Hopkinton. Top of the third inning, 1-0 post 77, leading post 313 North Chelmsford. 9-1-2 due up for North Chelmsford. Mike Vecchione, the left fielder, to step in. He takes strike 1 there, 0-1. Babineau deals. That one just low. 1-1. Set to deliver. Check swing. Did he hold? No, says the umpire. 1-2.
I don't think the umpire said anything.
Well, he signaled that. That one's fouled away. Count remains 1-2. And there's strike 3. He thinks he has a rundown, but the throw will be in time anyhow. One away.
No indication from the home plate umpire as to whether the ball was in the dirt, it was caught clean, or what.
Didn't look like a rundown situation to me. As John Barry will step in. Seems like it's turned into a pretty good pitcher's duel so far today, as there's strike 1. 0-1. That one fouled away. 0-2 now to the second baseman, who walked in the first inning and was picked off. He was the first pickoff victim for Babineau. That one outside, 1-2.
Looks like the outfield for Ashland is playing in medium depth.
And there's strike 3.
Would have fooled me.
Yeah, not a very emotion-filled.
Maybe he's a rookie umpire. I'd have lay off him.
Pete Miller will step in, the third baseman. Babineau 4 strikeouts so far this evening. Strike 1 there. Strike 2. 0-2 to Miller, who singled in the first inning. That one just low. 2-1, time called.
Who wanted the time, the batter or the catcher?
I missed that one.
Well,
I think it was the pitcher.
Jewett thought he had a strike there. Babineau was one step towards the dugout, so there were 2 in agreement and 1 was not. The man in blue makes the final decision.
And this is up the first base side, gloved by Pessin. He has no trouble stepping on the bag for the third and final out of the top of the third. To the bottom of the inning we go. Post 77 leading North Chelmsford 1-0. Bottom of the third inning, 9-1 and 2 due up for post 77. Brad Seymour, the center fielder. Jake Obid, the left fielder. Ronan Bates, the second baseman. Step in and face James McNamara. Wind up and the pitch. There's a strike. 0-1. Pretty good pace to this game so far, moving right along. And what has been a pretty good pitcher's duel. That one fouled away, 0-2. Looks like Dylan O'Leary getting some warm-up action for post 77. Maybe in case Babineau runs into trouble, or perhaps for one of the games this week, as that one is hit just over the reach of McNamara, but gloved by the shortstop. Throw to first, no problem. And that is going to be 6-3 for out number one. Jake Obid, the left fielder, to step in.
That was a 5-hopper to the shortstop. I thought he would have beat that out, but it's not what I think, right, Tom?
That's right. Pretty good throw, cross by Hart. Obid grounded out his first and only time up this game. Takes ball one there, 1-0. And this should be a pretty busy week for post 77. 3 games on the slate in the regular season, then maybe some playoff action. We'll get the lowdown on the potential playoff schedule as the week goes on. That one just upstairs, 1-1.
A little high cheese for Obid.
Wind up and the pitch, just low.
As far as the standings go, Tom, how far away is the next club behind 77?
I believe it was 2 games the last I looked. Trying to dig those up now. They've had all kinds of website changes, so it's kind of tough to find the standings nowadays, as that one is outside.
No, he called it a strike. Again.
This umpire, I think he needs to be a little more clear here with his calls.
Especially for the TV crew.
Exactly.
Fans in dead center field probably just as frustrated as we are.
Right. That is hit in the air out of play.
Excuse me, I should say the fan in center field.
And any call he makes, he's usually facing his right for some reason. He's never showing anyone to his left the call. Wind up and the pitch. Swinging strike there, and there is a strikeout. Out number 2 of the inning. Ronan Bates to the plate. Obid a little bit frustrated there.
I'm not sure whether Babineau's on a pitch count or not today.
Well, this game certainly feels as though it will be a pitcher's duel the whole way through. Is that one inside? 1-0. Gorgeous evening for Legion baseball here on this Monday, as this is hit in the air to right field and dropped by the right fielder. And for the second time today, Ronan Bates will reach on an error by the right fielder. So Bates on first, 2 outs. Jackson Horning to the plate.
Again, no sun to be seen.
Yep.
Can't blame it on the sun there, but that was
yeah, a little bit of sun, but I don't think enough to really interfere.
2 bad angles taken by the right fielder.
Speaking of the weather, temperatures in the high 70s. Good pickoff move, almost got him, but Bates just back safely.
That's a real no-no to get picked off by a right-handed pitcher. The coach ought to be helping him out, looking at the pitcher's feet.
And this is Hit in the air to center field and snagged by Talbot Dion for the third and final out of the bottom of the third. It is a 1-0 game as we head to the top of the fourth. Post 77 leading. Top of the fourth inning. 3, 4, and 5 due up for post 313 as Andrew Fisher, the first baseman, steps in. Babineau out there set to deliver. That one low, 1-0. That is fouled away.
Did we have a defensive replacement for Thomas?
1-1 count.
Unless he switched uniform numbers with somebody else on the team.
One down low, 1-2. Up the left side, past the reach of Rossi, and that is going to be a base hit for Fisher. A single.
No error there.
Nope.
Tough ball, tough play to make.
Pretty impressive. You got the dive on that one. And even came close to that. That was ripped down the line. As Max Silverman, the catcher, will step in. No outs, 1 on.
We'll see if Babineau tries to get his third pick off of the day. That would be shame, shame, shame on the first base coach.
Wind up and the pitch, fouled away. Silverman struck out his only time up this game. Runner leading off of first. Leg lift and the pitch. That is foul. Runner leading off of first. Check in and the runner back safe. Wind up and the pitch. Hit in the air, a high fly ball to left center, and it is caught by Seymour. 1 away, excuse me. And Fisher back to first.
He's proven to be a reliable center fielder this year. Seems to cover a lot of ground.
James McNamara, the pitcher, to step in.
Babineau is really crafty out the mound. He alters his time and his look over to first base. I think he catches those kids napping.
Runner leading off of first. There's a strike. 0-1. Set to deliver. Up the middle it goes. Glove by Babineau. Throw to second for 1. Now to first. Double play. A 1-4-3 double play gets out of the inning. And we will head to the bottom of the fourth. Ashland leading North Chelmsford 1-0. Bottom of the fourth inning, 4, 5, and 6 due up for post 77. Ben Thomas, Zach Pessin, and Lewis Rossi. James McNamara out there for another inning of work. This game cruising right along. A good pitcher's duel between James McNamara and Sean Babineau. Thomas reached on a single in the first inning and drove in the only run of the game. And he will tattoo this ball to left field, but it is going to be caught in left field by Mike Vecchione. A good catch there. Caught it just before it hit the ground. 1 away, Zach Pessin to the plate.
I see why I'm confused there. There's 2 players with number 34 in their back.
There's a strike.
My bad.
I guess that could be a little deceiving. We'll forgive you for that one.
All right.
Wind up and the pitch. There's a strike. 0-2. Set to deliver. Swing strike there. He will get a run down. Throw to first in time. 2 away. Lewis Rossi to step in. Wind up and the pitch. Ball 1. The 1-0 pitch. That one's fouled away. 1-1. Tomonsi on deck. Shall Lewis Rossi reach? Upstairs.
Rossi presents a small target at the plate.
McNamara gets a sign he likes and deals. Swinging strike.
Rossi wasn't happy with that swing.
2-2 now. Set to deal. Upstairs, full count.
Catcher wasn't happy with that pitch. He reached up and snapped his glove.
That one fouled away. The battle continues on. Check swing. Won't matter. Strike 3. And that will wrap up the 4th inning. To the top of the 5th we go. It is 1-0 post 77 on WACA-TV in Ashland or HCAM in Hopkinton. Top of the 5th inning, 6, 7, and 8 due up for post 313. Chad Lazine, Ryan Hart, and Reed Talbot Dion. Babineau is set to deliver. Swinging strike, 0-1.
That wasn't the heater. That was just something off speed.
There's another called strike, 0-2. Post 77 got out of the top half of the 4th on a nice double play. Ball scooped up by Babineau. Made a great defensive play on it. That one fouled away. The 0-2, and there is strike number 3. 1 away. Five strikeouts on the evening for Babineau. Ryan Hart to step in. Leg lift and the pitch. The bunt pulled back.
Take it for a strike.
Yep. Babineau is just dealing today as that one is lined up the middle. That'll drop into center, and that is a base hit. A 1-out single for the shortstop. His second time reaching today. Reached on a walk in the 2nd, and now Reed Talbot Dion will come up, but not before head coach Derek Johnson visits the mound. Now Babineau, he's been on a pitch count for his first few starts this season. Is he going to stay in the game?
No.
Yeah, it looks like he's coming out. Or nope, so far just a chat. Yeah, he's going to give up the ball now. And he will be coming out. They are going to save Babineau for the playoffs, which will be happening very soon. We'll be starting up later this week, and we'll have a new pitcher for Ashland post 77.
New first baseman.
Yeah, we'll have a few defensive changes, and we will take a quick break to get caught up with all the changes, and then we will get back to you with what those changes are. It's Ashland Legion Baseball on WACA-TV in Ashland or HCAM Television in Hopkinton. New pitcher for post 77. First pitch is up the middle, and the flip to second for one. Throw to first. How about that? A new pitcher and a double play after one pitch to wrap up the Top of the 5th inning, the new pitcher was Zach Pessin. Ronan Bates moved over to first base. Jack Larsh over to second base. But the defensive changes don't matter for post 77. They're still making it happen defensively on the field. To the bottom of the 5th we go. 1-0 Ashland leading North Chelmsford. All right, bottom of the 5th inning. 7, 8, and 9 due up for post 77. And we have a hitter in the game for Auncey. As the second pitch is a ball, 1-1 to Jack Larsh, who took over at second base. And he is now hitting in the lineup in the 7th spot. We got the Zone 5 standings. We'll take you through those in just a moment. Wind up and the pitch. There's a strike. Waltham is at the top, a 10-5 record, but they are tied with Ashland, who is also 10-5. Swinging strike there. Newton is 9-5, so a half game out. Sudbury 8-5. Wind up and the pitch. And there is strike 3 on Larsh, one away. That'll bring up the catcher, Sean Jouett. Then you got North Chelmsford, who's very much in the mix at 9-6. Natick is tied with them at 9-6. Lowell is 8-6, and Medford 7-7. So Zone 5 still has most of their teams very much alive. 1-0 to Jouett. Hudson is 2-11. They are pretty much eliminated, and Bill Ricka has forfeited their season, so they are eliminated.
Good effort by Bill Ricka.
Yeah. They ended up just not having enough players. Pretty unfortunate.
That'll happen sometimes. Yeah. Nevertheless, a good effort by Bill Ricka.
But the majority of District 5 very much alive in the postseason picture as Jouett takes one for the team there. And he will get a pass over to first base, taking that one off the shoulder, it looked like. And that'll bring up Brad Seymour, the center fielder. So this is going to be an interesting week to see how this all plays out, because there is several teams still in striking distance of the top two, Waltham and Ashland.
I hope we're able to cover that Hudson game there, because you owe me some Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Runner leading off of first. Wind up and the pitch. Upstairs.
Ashland needs to scratch out a few more runs here, give themselves some breathing room.
He deals. That one is just outside. 1-1 on Seymour. Runner leading off of first, the throw over. Runner slides back safe. Leading off the bag, he deals. Hit in the air,
drop.
High fly ball, and that'll drop in for a base hit. That is going to be a single for Seymour. Jouett moves up to second, so it's 2 on, 1 out. Jake Obid to the plate.
Obid has not had any luck with McNamara today so far. He's 0 for 2.
Post 77, trying to add some insurance here.
Not sure why the first baseman is holding the runner on.
That one inside. 1-0. McNamara waits the sign. And he deals. That one upstairs.
You have any idea why the first baseman is holding the runner on at first?
Not quite sure. Maybe a double steal threat? I don't know.
Well,
just being cautious.
You can't run.
A little break for Max Silverman to talk with McNamara. Now, we talked about Sean Babineau, and he pitched a tremendous 4 1/3 this evening. Scoreless 4 1/3, but ended up coming out of the game. He's been on a pitch count pretty much all season long. We were told by Coach Johnson he's playing some futures baseball as that one's fouled away. Well, I think he certainly does have a future in baseball.
Despite his diminutive size, he can really get the ball up there. He's got a good repertoire of pitches, and he's got a hell of a pickoff move that we've seen.
Yep. And this is up the right side, past the reach of the first baseman. Lead runner being waved around. Jouette going to try to score. The throw in cut off by the catcher. One is in. An RBI single for Obed, who advances the second on the throw in. Seymour is up to third. Jouette scores. 2-0 Ashland. Good piece of hitting there by Obed. Ronan Bates will now step in the batter's box. And how about the turnaround for Post 77 from last season to this season?
It's been very, very impressive.
Unbelievable, absolutely. And it's a young team this year, but they are right at the top of Zone 5, tied for first. That one upstairs. This will be a pretty big inconvenience for North Chelmsford come playoff time if Ashland is able to put a W in the scorebooks here this evening. Runner leading off of third. That one is just outside. 2-0 on Bates. Runners on second and third. One out, one in.
Infield playing in. They're going to cut the runner down at the plate.
2-0 lead for Ashland. There's a strike. McNamara working from the stretch, looks at third. He deals. Fouled away. Battle continues on. They'll fill up the count on Bates. Time called.
Bates is crafty like that. He has a timer in his head, and if he's holding the bat up, which can put some strain on you, he'll call timeout.
Wind up in the pitch, and he will line this one. That'll drop into left field. Seymour is in for the third run. Obed behind him, and it is now 4-0 Post 77. A 2 RBI single for Ronan Bates. A 3-run bottom of the fifth for Ashland. And there's still only one out. Jackson Horning stepping in the batter's box. There's a strike, 0-1.
Jackson's sure to be a TVL All-Star next year. I bet my life on it.
Oh, absolutely. Slides back safe. Has he won this year?
He may have been. But I'm guaranteeing a repeat performance.
This is popped up, fair territory, and it's handled by McNamara. 2 away.
Love those one-handed catches. The old-timers absolutely despise them.
Bates stays at first. Ben Thomas to step in. Big inning for Ashland. Some well-needed insurance. 4-0 lead now. As this is up the middle, slow roll to the shortstop. He gloves it, throws to first, and got him just in time for the third and final out of the bottom of the fifth, but not before. Post 77 plates 3 runs. It's 4-0 as we head to the top of the sixth. Top of the 6th inning, a 4-0 Ashland Post 77 lead over North Chelmsford. 9-1-2 due up for Post 313. Mike Vecchione, the left fielder. John Barry, the second baseman. Pete Miller, the third baseman. Zach Pessin on the mound for another inning of work. Only threw one pitch in the 5th. Ended up being a double play. Leg lift and the pitch. Up the right side, foul. 1-1. Two and one now. Set to deal. Up the right side and takes a couple hops. Glove by the second baseman. The throw to first, not a problem. One away.
Good work by Pessin covering first base. Any ball hit to the right side, you have to go over. Anything can happen.
I'll bring up John Barry, the second baseman. 0 for 1 with a walk. Upstairs it goes. Leg lift and the pitch. That one low, 1-1. Or excuse me, 2-0. He deals. 3-0. Three-0 pitch. There's strike one.
Game is an hour and 7 minutes old.
Yep, in the top of the 6th already. Pretty good pace rat here. Up the left side, and that is going to be a fair ball. Around first he goes as Obed trying to get a handle on it in left field. The throw in, and it is handled by Larsh. It is going to be a 1-out double for Barry. I'll bring up Pete Miller, the third baseman. Pessin from the stretch, runner leading off of second. And this one is hit in the air to the left side in foul territory. Obed makes a nice play on it, and they will confirm the catch for the out. Good play by Obed. 2 away, and that will bring up Andrew Fisher. And he really had to run in to get to that ball. He was playing pretty deep out there in left field. Up the right side, foul.
That was a real hustle play by Obed. I didn't think he had a chance of getting it.
Yeah, especially with how deep he plays, showing off the wheels out there. Runner leading off of second, the 0-1 pitch. And this is lined into right field. That'll drop in, and the runner will be held up at third. A single for Fisher, Barry to third. Thanks.
Coach Johnson is not happy with his third baseman who abandoned third base there on a potential cut play to Bates.
Max Silverman, the catcher and cleanup hitter, will now step in. Big opportunity here for post 313. 2 on, 2 outs. Pessin from the stretch. Looks at third and deals. Ball 1.
I'm not sure that Chelmsford being 4 runs down would put on a play here.
Wind up and the pitch. Inside. Well, I think with your cleanup hitter out there, you're just going to let him swing away. Looks at third, the leg lift and the pitch. Inside it goes, called strike.
That'd be a tough play for Jewett to pop up and back pick the runner at third, having to go around the right-handed hitter. But he snapped up anyway.
The 2-1 pitch. And this is hit in the air to left field. A liner will drop in. One run is in to score. It's an RBI single for the cleanup man, Max Silverman. John Barry comes around. Andrew Fisher is up to second. And that will bring up the pitcher, James McNamara, who will try to help his own cause here. It's now a 4-1 ball game. Line up and the pitch. Fouled away. Well, there's no warm-up action for Ashland as of right now. That may change very soon, as it looks like someone's picking up the baseball right now and heading over there.
That'd be the big, tall right-handed Dylan O'Leary going to warm up.
It'll be his second time over there today. The 1-1. Up the left side, past the reach of the shortstop. Lead runner held up at third. It'll be bases loaded with 2 outs. A single for McNamara. Fisher up to third, Silverman to second. Chad Lazine, the right fielder, to step into the batter's box.
North Chelmsford playing that very conservatively. I could see another coach sending him.
Well, you got the tying run now over at first. And it looks like it was a stoppage. I believe it was by the shortstop. Jackson Horning may have been a little shooken up at some point.
He made a hard dive for that ball, the one in the hole. May have knocked the wind out of himself.
Strike one to Lazine. Yeah, and he had to walk it off for a second, but he's good to go. Leg lift and the pitch. Swinging strike there on the nasty breaking ball. All runners leading off slightly. He deals. That one low. 2-1 is the count. Set to deliver. That one inside on the hitter. Good eye there by Lazine. 3-1. A walk here would score a run. Swinging strike. And he gets out of it.
Back-to-back breaking pitches.
Yep. And when the fastball wasn't working, he went to the breaking ball. And that will help get him out of a bit of a jam. North Chelmsford does score a run. It is 4-1 as we head to the bottom of the 6th. It's Ashland Legion Baseball on WACA-TV in Ashland or HCAM Television in Hopkinton. Bottom of the 6th inning. 5, 6, and 7 due up for Ashland post 77. Zach Peston, Lewis Rossi, and Jack Larsch due up. Now it was a later start between North Chelmsford and Ashland, a 6 p.m. start, and normally daylight would be a factor in this matchup here at Ashland Middle School due to the fact there's no lighting, but since this game has really just flown the whole way as of right now, daylight not a factor, but of course the last 2 innings have had some events that have dragged on a little bit, but I think they'll be able to get through this one. As Peston set to step in, started the game as the first baseman, then took over on the mound after Babineau went 4 1/3. He will line this one right to the shortstop, 1 away. I don't even think he had a move to catch that one. Lewis Rossi will step in.
It was as if that ball was on a line. No pun intended.
And we are quickly moving through this bottom of the sixth so far. 4-3 there, 2 away. Now Jack Larsh to step in. North Chelmsford will be down to their final 3 outs. And if they lose, North Chelmsford will fall to 9-7. Ashland will be 11-5 and in very good position. Line up and the pitch. That one is just low, 1-0. He deals. Swinging strike.
Couldn't lay off that pitch, but that's a tough pitch to lay off.
1-1. That one low, 2-1.
Goes from the letters to the knees. It's going to be a difficult adjustment for Larch.
Set to deal. Just inside, 3-1. Well, taking a look at the upcoming schedule for Post 77 is a swinging strike there. After today, they will play tomorrow once again right here at Ashland Middle School. And then originally it was going to be a makeup with Hudson right here at Ashland Middle School, but Hudson, they already have another game they have to play on the same day, so Ashland going to do them a favor and head over to Hudson for the final regular season game as Larsh draws the walk, and that will bring up Sean Jouett, the catcher.
No warm-up activity for North Chelmsford, so it looks like McNamara is going to go the distance, regardless of what happens here.
A pretty good game tomorrow as they will take on Newton. And of course, Newton 9-5 right now, a half game behind Ashland, so that is a big one here at Ashland Middle School tomorrow.
Was that a called strike?
It looked like,
Tom?
Yes, I believe it was. Wind up and the pitch. That one is low. Runner will take off from first. The throw up is going to be in time. They got him. So caught stealing is Larsh, and that will wrap up the bottom of the sixth. To the seventh we go. North Chelmsford down to their final 3 outs with Ashland leading 4-1. Top of the 7th inning, North Chelmsford down to their final 3 outs. And they will rely on their 7, 8, and 9 hitters to try to get them back in this game. Ryan Hart to step in.
New pitcher on the mound, Dylan O'Leary, the Hopkinton rising senior.
All right, Dylan O'Leary with a save opportunity here, coming in for Zach Pessin. Pessin went 1 1/3. Some pretty solid pitching.
Very nervous father out there in center field.
Pessin gave up 4 hits and 1 run in his outing, as this is hit over to right field and caught by Thomas, 1 away. And that'll bring up Reed Talbot Dion, the center fielder. Post 77 is just 2 outs away from improving to 11-5. And they were tied at the top heading into this one. Top of zone 5 as there's a strike. And of course, whether they remain tied will depend on what happened elsewhere, as there's another strike, 0-2.
Oh. Dylan throws right over the top, and so he's got a nice trajectory, keeping the ball low.
1-2, fouled away. Of course, Waltham also 10-5. And it is going to be one fun week of Legion baseball to see what happens as we come to an end on the regular season on Wednesday. That will be the final day of regular season play. Up the left side, that's a fair ball, and it gets by Rossi. And that is going to be a reach for Talbot Dion. I'm giving it an error there. That looked pretty routine to me.
Yeah, you got to give him an error. It was an in-between hop, but he had enough time to read the ball.
Mike Vecchione will come up to the plate. With Chelmsford staying alive. That one is just outside, 1-0.
Dillon pitched 1 inning for the Hopkins and Hillers today. Or this year, excuse me, not today. So he hasn't worked on his pickoff move much. And the first base runner has got big secondary lead.
Fouled into the backstop, 2-1. Runner leading off of first. Fouled away, 2-2. Set to deliver. There's a called strike, out number 2.
Chelmsford hitter is not real happy with that call.
Yeah, he did not appear to be. John Barry will step in.
The runner at first base doesn't want to make the last out here, so he's getting a little greedy with his lead.
Line up and the pitch. That one just low, 1-0. One out away, checking at first, runner back safe. Let's read Talbot Dion over at first, reach on an error. The only error of the game for post 77. That one outside and throw down the line by Jouet, runner back safe. Solid throw down the line there.
If he were tagged out there, the Chelmsford coach would have had his head explode.
And as much as Jouet wanted the call on that one, it is called a ball. Wind up and the pitch. Hit in the air, a high fly ball to right field, and it is caught by Ben Thomas, and that will wrap this one up. Post 77 grabs the victory, 4-1 is the final score. A great win here this evening for Ashland. North Chelmsford ends up scoring 1 run on 8 hits, committing 2 errors. Ashland scores 4 runs on 4 hits and commits 1 error. The first run of the game was scored in the bottom of the first after Ronan Bates reached on an error with 1 out. Ben Thomas drove him in with a single to make it 1-0. It would stay that way until the bottom of the 5th, in which post 77 rallied with 1 out. Sean Jouet was hit by a pitch. Brad Seymour singled. Jake Obid hit an RBI single to drive in Jouet. And then Ronan Bates hit a 2 RBI single, which scored both Seymour and Obid. And that would make the score 4-0 Ashland. And then North Chelmsford responded with 1 run of their own. In the 6th inning, an RBI single by Max Silverman scored John Barry, but despite having the bases loaded, they were unable to come up with any further runs, and they fall here today to Ashland post 77, 4-1. Ashland improves to 11-5 on the season. North Chelmsford falls to 9-7. The final score for the final time: Ashland post 77 defeats North Chelmsford 4-1. For Connor Donovan on camera, my broadcast partner Larry Sacklad, I'm Tom Nappy, and we thank you for watching this broadcast of Ashland Legion Baseball on WACA-TV in Ashland or HCAM Television in Hopkinton. Enjoy the rest of your day, everyone, and we'll talk to you soon.